Welcome back to another week of great football. We're at the halfway point of the season. There's no turning back. And surprisingly, the NFL's pretty much done a good job handling COVID-19 besides the breakout that we all know about. But I digress. It's a nice way to get away from the war as we see huge stress throughout the election. Just just we all forget about it and we just come here to talk about football. Last week last week was a great week of football. I'll just recap it real quick, and then we'll get some input from other teams. But first, we'll start with Mr. Ellis. How do you feel about being the only undefeated team left and beating my Baltimore Ravens?
I feel great because we haven't played our best game yet. I feel like we're 7-0, but have not been a dominating 7-0 at all. In fact, we've done what we've had to do to scrape out wins, and that's what a good team does. So I wasn't happy with the performance, particularly the first half of the game, where I thought we came out very flat. I thought we were physically beaten by Tennessee, banged up, and it showed the first half. The Ravens took advantage, but we adjusted at halftime. Great job by Mike Tomlin to make halftime adjustments. It was a chippy game, to say the least. The officials were horrendous for both teams, I'll say. I know that John Harbaugh felt the need to talk about it in the media to the point where I don't know. I think he kind of sounded a little bit whiny there. Even when the Jesse James play happened, you never heard Tom in the media say a word about it. Nothing. And the first thing Harbaugh talked about, both in his post-game press conference and his presser on Tuesday, was bringing up officials. John, your defense played sloppy in the second half. John, your defense made some mistakes in the second half. John, that's on you to clean up. It's okay for your players to complain. It's okay for your fans to complain. They should. There was some questionable calls in that game, a lot of them on both sides. So your fans have every right to complain about the refs in that game and feel like they were cheated. They're allowed to feel that way. They're fans. They watch. They invest. But you're the coach. Be a good role model. Be like Mike Tomlin.
Wow. But I just want to give huge congrats to Mike Tomlin for passing Tony Dungy for the most wins. That's huge, and although I do hate the Steelers in my way, I always find some respect for Pittsburgh. But we'll see you guys Thanksgiving. I ain't gonna say much there. But essay, you know what I'm gonna say. How 200 yards, 4 touchdowns by Dalvin Cook. Crazy part with an 8-9 man box. How does that make any sense?
I mean, I wasn't. It was sad to see, but I'm not surprised. Dalvin Cook, the exact same thing Mostert did in the playoffs, and it's the same line. The line hasn't changed at all. In fact, it's got worse. Blake Martinez left the Giants, and now he's playing better than he ever did with the Packers. And only for us to have that on defense, and just to see Adams being the only actual receiver on the Packers roster. Rodgers throws 3 touchdowns, and all have to go to Adams. Just like the week before, when Rodgers took 280 yards, only 6 yards went to any other receiver than not named Adams. And then only for us to 2 days later not attempt to get anybody at the trade deadline, only offer a fourth for Fuller. We're not going anywhere if we just keep acting like Rodgers. It's just if we don't care, the GM doesn't care, then we're not going to. No one cares, and we're not going anywhere unless we make big changes, and it's not looking like that.
Like I told you last week, essay. I told you, you guys ain't physical, and that's a big killer for you guys. But I digress. Faison, how you feeling about your Patriots? They took another heartbreaking loss, but how do you feel about it?
Um, it was a hard loss. I feel like for Cam, I just felt like him on the sidelines after he fumbled. I just feel so bad for him. Like that offense, like he just doesn't deserve this. I and I remember the first thing when the Patriots signed him was first of all I was happy because we have a proper quarterback, but like he's not throwing it to anybody. Our number one wide receiver Sunday was Jacoby Myers. He was a quarterback in college. Like it's just things things like this. It just sucks. And you know this is not a good football team. People need to realize that. Like I know it's the Patriots. Oh my God, 6 championships, 20 years, but this is not a good football team. And we need to hit the reset button. We tried to trade Stephon Gilmore. Um, he's 30 years old. He wants the money. I can see why we wanted to trade him, but I mean we just couldn't get any trade offers for him. But next week, Monday night against the Jets. I don't know who scheduled that Monday night game. That's just horrible. That's horrible. No one wants to see that. But JP, you rocking the Steelers jersey. What was what was your thoughts on the Ravens loss, man?
Nice.
Disgusting. Disgusting loss. Coaches were bad. Lamar was bad. Defense was sloppy. I don't know what else to say. 4th and 3, you come out 5 wide. And who the hell goes up the middle, but does not look at the 5 options? See, I can rage here, I can yell here, I can scream, I can do whatever you guys want me to do, but coaches need to step up. We're a run-first offense. Sure, we ran the ball on 4th and 3, but that play call, I'm sitting at home and even I know what that play call is. You look at the receivers, see if they're open, then you run if there's no one open. I bet Harbaugh was like, yo, Lamar, all you got to do is just say height, go. Just go. Close your eyes and just go. That's not a play call. That one drive, we ran it 4 times, then we passed it to the left to Andrews. He got the first down, and then we ran it in with Gus Edwards. Why couldn't we do that? 265 plus rushing yards on the best D-line in the NFL. And you say we're not going to do that again? Greg Roman, your office, your job is in jeopardy, buddy. I feel like you're gone after this season if we don't go Super Bowl, in my opinion, because these games add up. These games add up. If we won this game, we're number 1 in the AFC North. I know it's not just Greg Roman. I know Harbaugh clarifies the plays and says, yes, that's straight, let's go. So Harbaugh, you better step up this week. And all I gotta say is Hollywood is popping off. That's all I'm about to say. When someone is frustrated, we want them involved in the offense. Lamar will be forcing passes. I feel like Lamar will throw a pick, maybe 2, because he's gonna be forcing passes to Hollywood. But I think this is a career game for Hollywood this game. Out of his whole NFL career, this is a career game. I feel like he's popping off this game. But he's right. The tweet that he tweeted, he's absolutely right. Yes, he did an AB move. He shouldn't have done that. Like the way he did it, he shouldn't have done that. But the tweet he said, how are you going to have soldiers but not going to use them? How are you going to have Devin Duvernay, Hollywood, Andrews, Boykin not going to use them? How are you going to have J.K. Dobbins and not going to use them? 113 yards. Feed him the ball. He does not fumble. He does not go down. Feed him the ball. But see, this is just me complaining, and we just got to move off heads forward. Like Lamar said, we can't dwell on this. We just got to go for it. See you guys at Thanksgiving. All I know is we're not losing that game. We lose that game. Oh, we lose that game, guys. I might be yelling on this show. We lose that game. It's gonna be crazy for us. But I just hope we don't lose that game. I hope we win every game. We play the Patriots after this week. Then we play the Titans. Then we play the Steelers, right? Yeah. And then we got the Colts this week. They got a great defense, great D-line. Darius Leonard, hell of a player. But I think we can beat them. I think we're going to put 30 on them. My score, if we're doing scores as of right now, my edge is 30-21. That's all I got to say. Let's go Ravens.
Well, I mean, I agree with a lot what JP says, but I'm going to take a little different take on that Pittsburgh game. When I saw that Pittsburgh game, I agree with Mr. Ellis that he doubts his team. Why? If you looked at every stat and took away the turnovers, Big Ben and Lamar played almost an identical game. Offenses stuttered at points. For us to have almost 200-yard rushes against the best D-line, that's big. Because a lot of teams can't do that. And then, the 4 turnovers, and yes, our defense played sloppy at some points. But you look at that game, even with all that, defense playing sloppy, Lamar turned over the ball. It literally came down to the final drive, which are some questionable calls with that injury timeout with Cam Hayward and all that. But when I see that, I just see Baltimore was a better team. I just think we just made crucial mistakes. Pittsburgh just limited their mistakes. And, like I said, Baltimore may lose more games, but we may turn out to be the better team. And that's where I'm not too sold on Pittsburgh yet. They'll be a good team, but I'm not too sold on them yet. No disrespect to you, Mr. Ellis, but that's what I think. But going on to games, we got first Thursday night, we got a NFC Championship rematch. We got the Green Bay Packers traveling to the San Francisco 49ers. Funny, San Francisco's favored by 1 and the over under is 51. Wow. JP, what you think?
I got the Niners winning this tonight. I'm just trying to get under SA's skin, man. No, I got the Packers winning. I don't think the Niners can pull this out. I got the Packers winning 28-14. I think this is where Aaron Rodgers bounces back. I think they're going to win by 2 touchdowns. 28-14 Packers.
Sassy, what you think?
I just don't think the Packers are gonna lose to the depleted 49ers team. They lost Trent Williams, Ayuk, Kittle, Garoppolo, and they got absolutely worked by Russell Wilson. Everybody knows how Rodgers plays after a loss. Easy dub, 35-14. Packers.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this is just a depleted team, no Garoppolo, no Kittle, no Trent Williams. I just don't see it happening. The only way I see the Niners winning is probably if they run for 400 yards, and considering the Packers D line, it might happen, but no, I don't think so. Rodgers always, comes back after a loss. You saw after the Bucks game what he did to Houston. Devontae is gonna have another big game, like he always does. He's a big time player. I'm gonna say 35-17, Green Bay. Mr. E, your thoughts on this game?
Well, obviously these, really tough breaks in terms of guys not being available is making a huge difference in the game. I still think it's going to be a tough game for Green Bay, though. Just surprising to me that they, like we talked about, that they stood pat over this trade deadline. But at the same time, you look at it, the kind of guy that they needed would have been too expensive for an 8-game rental. So they got to go with what they have. At this point, they're going to go tried and true. But I think the Niners are still going to give them a game because Shanahan wants to win this game. This Niners team has shown me a lot the last couple of weeks. I was a doubter. But again, I still feel like this is going to be a non-playoff year for them. So I got the Packers holding on 27-23.
Well, the Niners don't have a single player that touched the ball in the NFC Championship game where they absolutely destroyed us, and nobody from that team is on today. So, with that horrible tackling game that we had in the championship game and the one that we had last game, luckily we just got spared. Facing the Niners the best week possible, because coming into the season, I had us losing to the Niners, and I was being very optimistic. I thought it would be our second loss, but now I cannot pick this to be a tight game, because if I do, I can't even mention the Packers to be in the Super Bowl if this is a tight game. This has to be a blowout. This has to be one of those games where we had early in the season where we just blow teams out, and we cannot afford. I know it's a Shanahan, but we cannot afford to make this game tight. I feel like there's no way we can lose, but we cannot be within 10 points or 15 points. I think this has to be a big win, and I'm gonna pick the Packers to win 38-15.
This is actually a really tough game to pick because after what Dalvin Cook just did, it's very hard. And you look at coaching, Kyle Shanahan versus Matt LaFleur. We all know Kyle Shanahan is a way better coach, and I don't think he's gonna lie down this game. Something in me just feels like, oh wait, is Aaron Jones playing?
He's a game time. I think yeah.
See now if Aaron Jones was playing, I pick the Packers, but I can't even say I'm gonna have to take the 49ers on this. I trust Kyle Shanahan as just went out, and somehow he just finds a way to make his backups play very well, which is weird to me. It'll be very close. I got the 49ers winning 25-23. Sorry, I say. On to the next game. We got the Baltimore Ravens off a big loss going to the Indianapolis Colts. Baltimore has a 2.5-point favorite. Over under 47. JP?
2.5-point favorite. Wow. That's crazy, because I think we're going to come out, we're going to play our best game, bounce back. Lamar Hollywood. I think Hollywood and Mark Andrews will have a good game. I think J.K. Dobbins will have a great game again. Gus Edwards. To be honest, Ingram is at this point, no hate towards him, but he's like a hype man. He's a mentor, which is good. We need that kind of dude in the locker room because Edwards and Dobbins, they're just really good running backs. I got the Ravens winning 35-21. Actually, 35-14. I think our defense will stop them to 14 points. You can change that. 35-14. We come out, we win a big game, and then go. See the Patriots on Sunday night in New England next week. Good luck, Faison.
Yeah, I kind of agree with most of what JP said right there. This is, you see the parallels from last year and this year. We go play an undefeated team with the best run defense and we run all over them, but just this time we made too many mistakes. I think we're going to continue that trend. Like last year, we're going to pick up the running game late in the year. We're going to start putting 200 yards on every team. And I think that's largely due to J.K. Dobbins. Like, you can see the difference between him and Mark Ingram, like almost immediately. Like his burst, his balance, everything. It's just way different. I think we're gonna run all over them. I don't think Lamar's gonna have to throw that much this game. Even though the Colts have a good defense, I just trust our run offense. I was winning this one comfortably, 28-14.
I also have Baltimore. I feel like this is a good bounce back game. I feel like this is a tough opponent though. Phillip Rivers last week had a good game. 2 weeks ago he threw for like 375. So he's been doing pretty good. I thought, once the Colts signed him, I thought, he wasn't gonna do that good, but that veteran experience, he's still that guy. I feel like their defense is also really good. So this is not a cakewalk for the Ravens. Although I do have them winning, I feel like what Osezi said. I think J.K. Dobbins is going to have another good game. I feel like, man, he was another steal of the draft. I knew Patrick Queen was a steal. I didn't think J.K. Dobbins was going to be this good, but I feel like Phillip Rivers. I feel like he's going to have a good game, but that passing defense is just great with Humphrey there. So I think it's going to be low scoring. I'm going to say 24 to 14.
This is a really interesting game, and I'll say that for the Ravens, boy, you guys better win this game, because if you lose this and you fall to 5-3, all of a sudden. But at the same time, I look back to 2005 and I really look at this Ravens team, and there are so many parallels between the 05 Steelers and this Ravens team. Right, the 05 Steelers dropped 3 games in a row in the middle of the season. There was infighting in the locker room, guys cursing out Cowher, Joey Porter cursing out Cowher over defensive scheme. And what do? They go on a huge run at the end of the season, get it all together, and win the Super Bowl. So I'm not saying that can or can't happen, but the difference is the Steelers had 2 impact receivers that year, which we don't see here in Baltimore. And I do think that they will struggle in the first half against the Colts. I think there's going to be some carryover, some letdown from that game. I mean, the Ravens, they came out punching us in the mouth first half, second half, it fell apart. That's going to carry over a little bit, I think, into the start of this game. At the same time, the Phillip Rivers that we all know and love will rear his ugly head by the end. I expect Ravens to be down at halftime, to have a huge second half comeback and just lay it on them. And we talk about Marquise Brown being unleashed. Well, let's see. Because honestly, I'm not impressed. Marquise Brown last week, you got covered. You were covered. You were blanketed by Steven Nelson. Blanketed, son. You had 1 target, right? You were blanketed by Steven Nelson.
Ellis,
so you can yickety yak all you want, but you're not that good. Chase Claypool has more touchdowns than you already, and he's only played 7 games career-wise. He already has more TDs than you. You're massively overrated. So you know what? Hollywood, more like Dollywood. You know where Dollywood is? In Nashville, Tennessee. Dolly Parton. Go out and prove me wrong, Marquise. Go out and prove me wrong in this game. But I think the Ravens will get it done. I like 33-20. I like a huge second half for Lamar and the Ravens. 33-20 Ravens.
I'm not about to say nothing.
Don't. You're wearing the Steelers jersey, so you can't.
I can't see the in this game. I see this as a big win for Lamar. I see, especially as after a loss, I cannot see them losing back to back. Lamar's gonna have a big game, especially the Colts are the same team that I don't have faith in the Colts. They look good. I'm not gonna lie, but they don't look dominant. They don't. It's not a team that I could see beating the Ravens. It's not a team that has something like the Eagles I picked because I felt like they can manage it out. I felt like Wentz could pull it out, and he almost did if it wasn't for his disgusting play calls by Peterson, but they almost did. And Steelers, we all know, only undefeated team left, man. The Colts are not that team that's going to be beating the Ravens, especially after a first loss against the Steelers, which many Ravens fans are, Ravens in general are just pissed about. And I can see the Ravens winning this game 28-17. But going off Hollywood Brown, that man has been very disappointing, very disappointing. When is a breakout game? Terry has multiple games. Terry has proved himself. AJ has proved himself. DK has proved himself. But the first pick out of the whole draft has not proved. The first receiver out of the whole draft has not proved himself. We're waiting for
How do you break out if you only run one route? How do you break out if you only run one route?
And that was the same
criticism
DK had. That's the same thing people said about DK, and look what he's done. So, and DK got so much more slack than Hollywood during those draft months. And he's shown out. When is Hollywood going to show consistency? When is he going to show that being the first receiver pick that draft wasn't a bad pick?
It was a terrible pick.
Hollywood's not a terrible pick. I think a lot of that has to go do the coaching as well. Yeah. I don't know why I don't know why we have Brown outside when at Oklahoma he was in the slot and he had CD on the outside. I don't understand that. He's better in the slot. Even when his most explosive games were actually in the slot, but I guess Greg Roman doesn't see that. But I digress from that. Make this quick. Baltimore's winning this game. They're not gonna lose back to back, and this game will be closer than I think. I just don't trust Phillip Rivers. Somehow he'll just find a way and make a mistake. It'll be very close, but I think Baltimore will edge it out in the fourth. I think Baltimore wins 33-23. On to another. We got the Seattle Seahawks and the Buffalo Bills. Another game, another great game. Seattle's favored by 3. Over-unders 55. JP?
Oh, Seattle and who? Sorry, you cut off a little bit.
Oh, Seattle and Buffalo.
Seattle and Buffalo. That's a very good game. But see, again, as Mr. Ellis said, as I said, I don't trust the Bills. I don't trust Josh Allen. I just don't think they're a good team. I think they're fluke, like the Colts. They just have a defense. I think Rivers will make a mistake. But yeah, I got the Seahawks winning this. 28-14 Seahawks.
I just find it funny how it's only 2.5 for the Seahawks. This Bills team has been proven to be overrated. They almost lost to the Jets, and they almost lost to the Dolphins. I don't trust Josh Allen. He's going back to his tendencies from his rookie season, and I think Stephon Diggs is gonna get angry, honestly, because Josh Allen's decline there's no explanation for that. It's not even he obviously played the Chiefs and stuff like that, but come on, man, you gotta do better. I got Russell Wilson dominating 28-14 Seahawks.
Going back to what Osezi said, if you can barely beat the Jets, the Patriots, who starting wide receiver was a quarterback in college, yeah, good luck with Russell Wilson. But I do think the Seahawks defense, and we've been talking about this, for the past shows, it's sketchy. Can I trust it in some games? Can I not trust it in some games? Can Josh Allen do the crazy and, drop 300 yards? Which, to be honest, I can see that happening. I don't know. I do think the Seahawks going to win this. Of course, I think it's going to be Russell Wilson because he's literally, carrying Seahawks. But their defense, I feel like their defense has to show that, they're Super Bowl we all know the Seahawks are Super Bowl contenders, but I feel like their biggest, weakness is their defense. So I feel like this game, is a good way to show that, hey, we're here, you guys need to stop talking about us. So I'm gonna say 28-17. I see Russ having a good game. Mr. Ellis, how about you?
Well, I think Buffalo got lucky last week. I think you look at the depleted Patriots team, almost beat them. If not for that turnover right there at the end of the game, they win. Buffalo has never impressed me. They're not impressive. No interest in ever supporting a quarterback that can't throw mid-range passes. I mean, this guy can't even dink and dunk. All he's got is the deep ball, and then he takes off and pulls back, takes off and runs. What does he have? Seattle's defense, not great as we know, but Dunlap playing this week will be interesting to see. Now, like we saw with the Ravens and Ngakoue, it's going to take some time, even though, they kind of do the same thing, north-south, attack the quarterback. It will take some time for both these guys, both Ngakoue and for Dunlap to get comfortable, but I just think Seattle's got too much coming into this game. And again, the Bills really get hurt by not having home field for these games. I do think that fans for certain teams really matter. And in this case, the Bills not having that home field. Yeah, I like Seattle big in this one. I like Seattle 28, Buffalo 17.
Yeah, Russell Wilson's going to win this game, but it's not going to be. I don't really like the Bucks. I mean, the Bills. They got lucky many times throughout the season. It's like against the Rams, especially, just in my mind, how they got so lucky on that last play, getting a fake PI call that was out of. I don't know where the ref saw PI and just gave him another play to win the game, even though they were so close to blowing a 28-3 lead, which they should have done. And then you have the Seahawks who just live in tight games for every game in the season. No matter who they play, the game is tight, whether it be the Cowboys, whether it be the Dolphins, Cardinals, no matter what, the Vikings, who they nearly lost to. It's just tight games throughout the season. And I can see Wilson doing the same thing, having a great game. This game is going to be 31-28. I'll say 31-24, maybe a 7-point edge. And I do not like this Seahawks team to be consistent. It's gonna be exposed in the playoffs with Russell Wilson not being able to match up because his defense is absolutely disgusting. Yeah, and I could see, 38-21, 31-24 Seahawks.
Yeah, mute theory.
Well, I mean, I might start selling my Buffalo stock. But I don't know what happened to them. I mean, I don't know. It may be Josh Allen. I have no idea because I know it's not McDermott because McDermott's a very good coach, and I know that because he's from the Andy Reid tree. So it's not him. So it's either Josh Allen or it's maybe coaching, but I don't know. The New England game kind of makes me a little cautious about this one because honestly, they should have lost that game if it wasn't for Cam Newton not holding onto that ball, or you could say at the end making a heck of a play, not giving up on it and jarring the ball loose. Seattle's just hot, and I just don't see Buffalo stopping them. And this is a big week for them too because they get Dunlap and they get Jamal Adams back. He's back in practice too, so that should really help the defense as well. I just got Seattle winning this 35-17.
Come on over, Bills Mafia. We're waiting for you. We're waiting for you over here, Bills Mafia. We've been trashing you every week. But
And ironically, my face will be on the front. So
it's all right. My address is attached to it. You'll be fine. All right.
He's frozen.
Yep. Next up. Y'all think about this matchup. This is a huge.
barely.
There you go, man. You're back.
Yeah.
All
right. Big game. Saints Bucks. Saints won it week 1. For this time, Tampa Bay has a 4-point edge, and the over/under is 54.5. JP.
They got my boy AB. I love Antonio Brown. I love his talent. I don't like him as a person because what he does, but see, I would never disrespect talent. He got talent. He's a great receiver, and I think he will help Tom Brady. Last year, the first game with Tom Brady, I know it was against the Dolphins. They were tanking. They were doing whatever, but 2 plays, first down, 3rd play, boom, touchdown. Man, AB is just crazy. He's a crazy dude, talent-wise. But I got the Buccaneers beating the Saints. Tom Brady was getting familiar with the offense. Coaching was here and there. It was the first game. Drew Brees can't throw over 10 yards. Let's not get to that. Slant boy, is he back in practice yet? Michael Thomas. Is he back in practice yet? I don't know that, but
I think he is, but he just I don't know. Either something's fishy in New Orleans.
I think he's a new diva of the league, but we don't get to that. I got the Buccaneers winning this 28-21. I think it's close, but 28-21. Buccaneers will pull it out.
What I see from this matchup is two quarterbacks who don't have that arm talent anymore. No disrespect to Brady, no disrespect to Breeze, but if you watch that Giants game, Brady was going through one read, Ronald Jones. One read, Ronald Jones. Drew Brees, how doesn't Alvin Kamara? He's like top 5 receptions or something like that. Like these quarterbacks simply can't do what they used to do before, and I think it's gonna come down to the running game. And I feel like Ronald Jones is gonna do what he did against I forgot what team it was. The Packers. Yeah, he ran all over you guys. I think. And also touching on AB, I think Tom Brady's gonna be good for AB. I think Tom Brady's gonna like keep him in check a little bit. I feel like it's unfortunate what happened to AB, and the league needs to do a better job protecting his players. But I'm not gonna ramble about that. I have the Bucks winning this one, 35-21.
I also have the Bucks. I feel like week one, like what JP said, it was just no practicing, no preseason. I feel like, Brady and Arians slowly, building chemistry. If they get Chris Godwin back, I feel like it's over already, to be honest. But they said probably Friday they'll see. He might be a game time decision. If Michael Thomas plays, and it's gonna be a close game. But I feel like with that offense, Brady feels right at home. And I don't know how good AB is gonna do. I feel like Brady's kind of like that, just calm down kind of guy. Just hopefully AB is good with his team. Hopefully he doesn't play his annual game with Tom Brady, then gets released the next week. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I feel like Brady's gonna outduel Drew Brees. I'm gonna say 38-24.
Well, both teams just have some major red flags there going up defensively to me. I mean, the Bucks have a great pass rush. They can attack the quarterback, but man, the Giants really possessed the ball in that game. Brady's possessions were limited, right? And so, you look at the Saints, and the same thing happened to them against the Bears. The Bears possessed the ball against the Saints defense, right? So you just got to wonder, something's got to give here. But I'm in agreement with Emmanuel. I think something's wrong in New Orleans. I think something smells bad down there as far as, coaching wise. There's a rift going on between players and coaches. And I'm going to point all the way back to Drew Brees' comments from before the season started regarding the anthem and things of that nature. And, I think that's where things really started falling apart for this team, and really started falling apart for Michael Thomas and the rest of the way. I mean, there's some real internal issues with the chemistry of this team. And I think even though the Tampa's flawed, and they're mainly flawed because their head coach is Bruce Arians. But Tampa's a flawed team, but I like them to win this game as well. I think it's going to be a little back and forth for a while, but I think Tampa will hang on. I like 30-21 Tampa.
Each week we all have one game where we all agree and it all end up being wrong. So I'm picking the Saints for one reason. The Bucks have these games where they just go out. They leave the game against the Bears. A game which was so ugly to watch, with Foles playing disgustingly bad. And you have this past week with Daniel Jones playing horribly bad, but not, coming in clutch in the end, just like Nick Foles did, where with an obvious PI call that was missed. And we saw some past fans defending Tom on that play right there.
Phase.
Like the Saints will edge this out 27-24 because this Bucks offense is so inconsistent. They have games where they look amazing and games where they look just like average. And I think the Saints defense can hold. They haven't been amazing this season, but I think that one game they had in week one against the Bucks, they can repeat it. And I think maybe even better. And I see the Saints winning 27-24. Drew Brees playing pretty good, average. I give him 3 TDs, 220 yards. Alvin Kamara and stealing the show, and the Saints come up with a dub, sweeping Tom for the first time in his career.
One, I don't know where S is getting all that from. Tampa Bay's winning this game for a lot of reasons. Week 1 when they met up, the Saints didn't play particularly well against a Bucks team that wasn't good, especially defensive wise. Because I do like Todd Bowles, and what he's doing with the Bucks defense is great. And I don't think the Saints have really been battle. I mean, they've been battle tested. They played the Bears defense. They didn't play particularly too well against the Bears defense, and I think the Bucks defense is right there. And the Bucks have played good defenses. I mean, the Giants was more of like a trap game. It wasn't. I think if that was on a Sunday night or a Sunday game, they would have had that. But I think it was more of a trap game. They narrowed it out. It is what it is. But I don't trust Drew Brees, and that team just feels like they're just drifting apart because Michael Thomas was supposed to play 3 weeks ago. Then he suddenly starts fighting with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, which is ironic because of David Wims. That was funny, but I just think there's something wrong in that locker room and chemistry's down, and I just don't trust the Saints this year overall. And I'm taking Tampa Bay to almost winning a blowout. I don't think it'll be a blowout. It'll be very close. I got the Bucks winning. Actually, I'll call it a blowout. Tampa Bay 45-21. We got one more game. We didn't think we could squeeze this in, but we have the time. We got the battle. We got an AFC West divisional matchup. We have the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to the Los Angeles Rams.
Yep. Quick reflections on this one, guys.
Oh, my fault. Not Rams. Chargers. Chargers.
The Chargers and the Raiders, right?
Yeah.
Quick.
I got the Raiders winning, man. Chargers, man, they blew like what 16-point leads like in how many games? 3-4 games. Like Anthony Lynn gotta go, in my opinion. I think he has to go. He's not the right coach. Justin Herbert's playing outstanding football. Keenan Allen, outstanding football. But see, again, they'll be up in this game, but I think they're just gonna blow the lead. I got the Raiders winning this game, 27-24.
Mostly what JP said. This is a make or break week for Anthony Lynn. Too many blown leads, especially with the rookie quarterback that's playing that great. But since that's on the line, I think the Chargers are gonna edge this one out, 28-21.
I actually have the Chargers. I feel like Justin Herbert is just gonna do it. Like Raiders' pass defense is terrible, and I just don't trust Derek Carr. I mean, they face the Browns, and I picked the Browns. Remind me to never pick the Browns again because I'm not gonna get into it.
Noted.
But I do have the Chargers. I'm gonna say 31-13. I feel like this is gonna be a blowout.
You think I learned my lesson and picked the Raiders, but I'm not picking them again. I'm taking the Chargers. I think Herbert's hot, and I think with his back against the wall, Anthony Lynn is a good coach. I think he'll find a way, much like we saw Zimmer last week. I think Anthony Lynn will find a way to win this game. I like the Chargers 30 and the Raiders 28.
Yeah, I think this game will be extremely close all the way to the end. We might see a final drive by a car that just stalls out and doesn't finish it out. I see the Chargers winning 24-21. Herbert, another great game, another performance. Lynn has another win to his record to keep him alive, but I can't see the Raiders edging out this game.
I agree with SA a lot on this. I just don't trust the Raiders. I don't trust Carr. To me, he's a better version of Baker, but I digress on that. I got the Chargers winning 28-30. They get a game-winning drive.
Interesting week, guys. Interesting week. I think you look at Steelers, you say 7-0 right now, but we've never won in Jerry World, including that devastating Super Bowl loss and then an inexplicable losing a 12-point deficit in the fourth quarter in 2012 that kept us out of the playoffs. Ben throwing 2 pick sixes in the fourth quarter. 2! So I think so too, but it might not be easy. And I'm not taking it for granted one bit, man. That's for sure. I mean, this is a 7-0, but it's a shaky 7-0. So I'm not by any means saying it, but I'd like to see the Steelers offense have a complete game, 2 quarters or two halves this week. I'd like to see that. Ravens game, I'm telling you, that's the biggest game of the week. Because if the Ravens lose this game, we could see some interesting things happen. So I'm just going to say this is a big game for the Ravens to bounce back and demonstrate that, they're a team that's together. Because right now they're coming across as a team that's not on the same page. So be interesting to see what happens, but I still like them to bounce back.
Any final thoughts from anybody else?
You gotta pick up the slack. Unacceptable how we're playing right now. Hope we do it this week.
Fix the turnovers. Coaches, we don't have Aaron Rodgers. We don't have Patrick Mahomes. We have Lamar Jackson. Let him be Lamar Jackson. Let him do his thing. Let the offense do his thing. Let's get this. Let's get this win. That's all I gotta say. Big trust.
Faison, you don't got nothing to say about Jimmy G? What do you think? You want a Jimmy G reunion?
Yeah, I've been hearing the rumors that, this might be Jimmy G's last year, which is interesting, but I feel like, a lot of people don't know this. He's actually 29. So I don't know. Maybe if he comes back, then we'll bring him on, but to be honest, I'd rather, pick someone in the draft higher overall, but I can't trust this franchise with drafting. It's been terrible these past few years. So, I don't know. We'll see. The off season would be interesting, but yeah, this is an interesting week,
I mean, whoever you draft, it can't be worse than Jordan Love. So,
Yes, I hope for your sake the Packers blow them out tonight because you're definitely you're taking the scoopings this week. So I'm hoping that the Packers blow them out, and it'll be interesting. But you feel for Rodgers either way.
Yeah. Just hoping, tonight.
It'll be fun, as always. Stay safe out there, everybody. Mask up when you're out around people. As a teacher, I feel like I need to say that, particularly now. So important. And we're just thankful again that we can continue to do this. And I'm thankful for these 5 awesome gentlemen, the starting 5 legends on their way to some great things in life. And y'all are just seeing the beginning of it. So thanks, everybody. Nice shirt, JP.
Thank you.